Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Shortly after taking over the leadership of the party, Ali Baba signed the Verity House Agreement. This was meant to represent a new beginning, a new relationship between the government and the councils of Scotland. This was done under the auspices of COSLA, which is the local authority sort of collective group. Their representatives in the whole, in the round, as it were. And so they signed this Verity House Agreement saying that the government would deal with them exclusively as COSLA, that it would back them up, that it would have decisions made with their knowledge, with their agreement. There'd be discussions about the changes of policy and things like that. Basically, mutual respect and working together in a partnership framework. That was the whole point of the Verity House Agreement. And of course, this being Ali Baba, he's broken it, because of course he has, because it means nothing to him. Everything is a lie. Him actually signing pieces of paper, contracts of agreement to bear these people in mind and to respect them. Given away, ruined, it's in shreds. We'll take a look at this to see why you can believe nothing that comes out of that liar's mouth. Here goes. Before we get into it, may I ask that all the regular viewers who are yet to subscribe, the 65% of you, you obviously like the channel, which is why you're a regular viewer. So do please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 9,000 before Christmas, and we're very tantalisingly close. We are a political channel. The YouTube algorithm does not like political channels. It pushes us down. And so every time you subscribe, it gives us a massive boost. So absolutely please help the channel, hit subscribe, and we can get on and get those messages out. Messages, of course, like this. The SNP government torn to shreds over breaking trust with councils, and it was insincere in signing a flagship deal. Well, who'd have thought it, eh? Who'd have thought the SNP did something they didn't mean, and were basically lying when they did it for quick political expediency, and it didn't last long, did it? Couple of months and bang, they've broken it, simply because the idiot in charge needed to say something nice about council tax. What a moron. Anyway, the Scottish Government was blasted for breaching its own Verity House Agreement with councils just months after it was signed, after Ali Baba announced a council tax freeze without telling them first. That was the whole point. They wanted to engender this relationship, engender the trust. Everybody was singing off the same hymn sheet, and therefore going forward, everyone knew what was happening. Except for the panicking man who goes, I don't know what to do with my rubbish speech, and announced a council tax freeze, which he can't fund. We saw in the budget, minimum needed 300 million, probably nearer $1 billion if the councils were to get what they're all actually after. And the budget, they're getting £130 million, sorry. Now, all the councils need to do now is say, look, you broke the Verity House Agreement, so you've told people their council tax will be frozen, but we're putting the council tax up. So either you're going to look like a weak, ineffective, stupid man who can't even keep his word to the very people he's appealing to, or you'll fund our council tax in full. Which is it to be? And he can't do either. He can't fund it. He hasn't got the money. And he can't force them to not raise them. So they're going to go up, basically. Because if they don't go up, of course, then all the councils have to massively kill all the services they offer, and that'll mean all the councillors are going, hang on a minute, we're going to lose jobs here, we're going to be booted out the next election if we can't fulfil these things. So council tax is going up, and Ali Baba looks like a tit. No change there then. Anyway, the Scottish Government has been torn to shreds by council experts over the way it acted in announcing a council tax freeze, just months after claiming it would work closer with them. SNP ministers signed the Verity House Agreement with the local authority body COSLA back in June. And, of course, they signed it. The trouble is going forward. It means nothing. These people won't believe anything going forward now. All that trust has gone, and it's gone forever, hasn't it? Anyway, back in October, Ali Baba drove a horse and carriage through this deal by announcing that he would be freezing council tax, despite not having the power to do so. All of the country's councils had plans to hike up the tax due to funding pressures and a lack of cash being received from the SNP executive. And indeed, that lack of cash that they had last year is even worse this year. They have got to increase council tax. No two ways about it. But of course, they can't. They're scared. They're running absolutely terrified. So what's happening? Anyway, despite vowing it would be fully financed, we knew it wouldn't because he didn't know at the time he was saying it how much it would be. His finance secretary has now admitted that it will be up to her how much the local authorities get. Imagine ensuring your future in the hands of a woman with an IQ of 86. It's not going to end well, is it? Anyway, council experts have blasted how the government has acted over the last few months after making this initial promise. Professor Jim Gallagher, we've spoken about him before, he's quite on the ball with this stuff, was the most scathing in his criticism as he appeared in front of Holyrood's local government committee on Tuesday. He said, in its own terms, it's a rather disappointing document because it is a set of warm platitudes about what we would all like to see and all like to have, like sustainable public services. What it doesn't do is provide a mechanism for choices. It doesn't go beyond general statements of goodwill. It's a worthless document. That's how the SNP have treated it, and they've basically thrown the baby out with the bathwater, ditching it because it's politically expedient to do so. It's a rather difficult agreement that they've made, and so in order to stop themselves looking like a bunch of complete incompetent morons, breaking news, far too late for that, they're basically screwing over the councils, making it look as though the councils aren't delivering rather than the SNP government is not delivering. Anyway, the professor went on. He said it would nevertheless be a good thing because general statements of goodwill aren't a bad thing if it led to a set of changes in behaviour in the relationship between central and local government. He said, unfortunately, it did not lead to changes in behaviour, but it led almost immediately in exactly the opposite of the behaviour which it described in the form of an unplanned and unconsulted upon freeze in council tax. And I always say that, and it's the running joke now, that's what everyone did when they heard him say these words. Nobody knew it was coming. They went later and backtracked and said, we discussed it in cabinet. Well, that's strange because the civil service didn't know anything about it, and they're the ones sitting in the cabinet taking the minutes of the meeting. And they were going, we didn't know. Nobody knew. This was the spur of the moment off the top of the moron's head. Anyway, he suggested, Professor Gallagher said, having made a set of warm-hearted platitudes with one hand, the Scottish Government simply drove a coach and horses through them with the other. So I fear the relationship requires a genuinely fresh start at the moment. I don't see how we're going to get it. And he suggested that the Verity House Agreement has a big hole in the middle of it, due to the SNP breaking it within weeks of making it. Well, you can't trust them. They're all liars. We keep saying that they're all liars all of the time. Nothing is ever true. You can trust nothing from them. Literally nothing. Professor Donoghue, it's all professors, isn't it? Here's the thing. You've got the SNP filled with morons, and then you've got all these professors coming out and saying how bad it is. Who are you going to believe? The morons in the SNP or the professors? Let me think about this one for just a nanosecond. Anyway, Professor Donoghue, CBE, former CEO of Wigan Council, claimed that the Scottish Government should apologise for how it has treated councils. She said, I think an apology wouldn't go amiss. I'm really sorry we did this. I think it's a genuine contract, a social contract, and one part of it is to admit when one person's behaviours don't exemplify what's written in the documents. By one person, she means, of course, the big boss, the big bad boss of Alibaba and his 40 thieves. Signing it. Look, here's me signing. You get this? Look, cameras, here's me signing it to show what a decent chap I am. And it lasted weeks before he broke his word and lied. Wow. Weeks. Oh, it's quite a long time in SNP to go without lying, isn't it? Anyway, I shall round there, come up and we'll finish the video. I think Alibaba's time really has come. He can't be trusted. He can't be trusted within his own party. He can't be trusted with local government. Nobody trusts him. Nobody trusts. All trust is gone. They're a party of lying liars. Alibaba lies. Michael Matheson lies. Shona Robinson lies. Name me one person who hasn't lied. One. I can't. I can't name a single SNP politician who doesn't lie. To your face. And yet their supporters still believe them. They're proven to be liars time and time and time again. And the poor saps, the poor morons that support this party still believe the crap and the bullshit that comes out of them all the time. What proof do you need? What is wrong with you people who vote for these people? It's something broken in your brains that you cannot see they are lying to your face and you still vote for them. You must be absolute quits. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button. We will get to that 9,000. Stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.